One of the most important EVs worldwide. I mean, this is a game-changing electric car. It's totally changed the entire automotive industry, according to Joe. I mean, guys, I'm joking, but honestly, for some reason, people still care about General Motors and their electric cars. So here are the details on the new Chevy Blazer EV. There's a cheaper option, which is a nice thing if you're a Chevy fan. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to have you with us. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Personally, I'm not that impressed by GM's electric cars. Honestly, not by GM at all as a company. And if it weren't for America's protectionism, I think General Motors would be bankrupt by the end of the decade. But because of America's protectionism and Canada's, GM will still exist in North America, just probably not in Europe or China. In other words, the company will shrink enormously, and there's nothing they can do about it. That said, GM has begun working on some extremely high energy density batteries that I'll talk about in a separate video, which is actually quite impressive. Unlike GM's Ultium batteries, unfortunately, the Blazer EV is powered by Ultium batteries, which, to be honest, aren't all that ultimate. They're, in fact, pretty average. That said, the Blazer EV, it has seemed to have overcome its problems. It had 56 reported problems, as mentioned by journalists in press cars when the car was first delivered. They said it was undrivable. Shocking. Anyway, GM apparently fixed those, and now they have revealed a cheaper version of the Blazer for 2025. Apparently, this will be available within a few months. They've also revealed a range-topping version, which is called the SS. That will be available in the third quarter of next year for $62,000. Apparently, the wait will be well worth it because the output of the dual motor all-wheel drive system has increased from 557 horsepower, which is 415 kilowatt, to a total of 444 kilowatt, which is about 600 horsepower. Torque has increased from 880. Torque has gone down from 648 pound-feet to 645 pound-feet. That's 874 newton-meters. To be honest, it's good, but in comparison to some of the Chinese EVs that I've driven, it's not that good for an SS version. It'll do 0 to 96 kilometers an hour, which is, 0 to 60 miles an hour in 3.4 seconds. At the other end of the spectrum, according to Car Scoops, there is a cheap version. It's an entry-level model. For some bizarre reason, it has front-wheel drive. I don't understand that philosophy, why they would do that, because about 4 or 5 different car makers have said it's better to make EVs with rear-wheel drive instead of front-wheel drive. And I've mentioned the number of reasons why that is in separate videos. Anyway, that base model is $46,000. It has a motor that develops 220 horsepower, which is 164 kilowatt. And it has 243 pound-feet of torque, which is 330 newton-meters. The Blazer EV all-wheel drive, that also gets a discount. So that's the mid-spec car. It gets a price cut of $1,200. It starts at $48,995 or $49,000. It has a bit more power because it has 2 motors, 300 horsepower. It has 224 kilowatt. And 355 pound-feet of torque, which is 481 newton-meters. So it's got a bit of a power boost versus the 2024 version. It also gets more range. Range has gone from 279 miles to 283 miles. It's increased by 4 miles. That means range is 455 kilometers. Has about the same range as a Tesla Model Y standard range vehicle. That said, Tesla is they're going to reveal the new Model Y Juniper in the first quarter of next year, which this will be competing with. Make no mistake, it will be. And it should have more range than this, I believe, from the reports that I've been reading. Anyhow, there is also a rear-wheel drive version. I don't know why they've got a front-wheel drive and a rear-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive performance. Seems confusing. But anyhow, and a rear-wheel drive is actually more expensive by $1,400. It costs $57,000, but it now gets more power. It has 272 kilowatt, which is 365 horsepower. So 20 kilowatt or 25 horsepower more than the old version. Range is actually not bad. It has more range 10 miles more range, 334 miles of range in total. That's 538 kilometers. To give you some context here, Xpeng G6, which is a similar size to this car that I actually have been driving for the last week, it is quite a lot cheaper. It's 60,000 Australian dollars. It has 570 kilometers of range. So it's got about 20 miles more range than this, and it is about $20,000 cheaper. Yeah, seriously, it's a lot cheaper, and it's, I think, a lot better. So guys, if you're in America, this is what's happening because you banned Chinese EVs. You're not getting access to better cars. For example, the charging speed of the G6 is about 290 kilowatt in the real world. I've charged it literally 20 minutes from 10 to 80%. Much faster charging. It's a better car than this, and it's way cheaper. So yeah, like I said, US government, I understand why the protectionism, why the 100% tax has come into place, but it does mean you're missing out on better cars at cheaper prices. Now, the one good thing is that all models do qualify for the federal tax incentive of $7,500. So, if you qualify, well, the price becomes, not too bad. Would I buy one of these though? No, I would be waiting for the Tesla Model Y Juniper personally to see what the numbers are for that, see how good it is. And honestly, I personally don't, like I said, I don't think GM's EVs are that great. They're okay, but they're not, not something I'll be spending my personal dollars on, put it that way. So how many models are there? Well, there's 4 models. Cheapest version, front wheel drive, 46,000. All-wheel drive, 49,000. Rear-wheel drive, 57,000. And the SS, 62,000. Which is the best of these vehicles? Honestly, it's kind of confusing. I would probably say the all-wheel drive at $49,000, but like I said, it's not personally a car that I would spend my money on. Thanks for watching.